Dude, I'm over here. Yes, dude, I fucking got her. Nice. That did not take that long this time, dude. We got her. Nice, dude. Nice. Alright, so it's actually really unfortunate that I'm out here because I am... Now that I have soloed Atheon for a second time, the last time it took me absolutely forever. There we go, I'm out here now. This time, it didn't take me that long. It only took me like 4 hours, which is sick. Absolutely sick. I'm going to explain exactly how I did it. Everything that I've learned, all that good stuff, since I initially started this, like, the first time I did it, it was like a year ago at this point. So, there's, everybody knows that if you're going to solo Atheon, you need Venus oracles. So that's a immediate coin flip. 50% of the time you load into this raid, there's Mars oracles, and you just have to use orbit. 50% of your attempts are just done immediately as soon as he opens the time stream. But there's also your Atheon position. So first of all, if Atheon opens the time stream and he freaking stands like right here, basically GG. It's basically GG. You can't do damage. You're standing right here. You can't really see him. So if he's anywhere really stupid, I think he can stand over there too. That's kind of just GG too. So that's a little bit of RNG. And also, the thing that took me forever to figure out, but your Atheon, the direction that he stands, the direction that he faces when he teleports you is extremely, extremely important. Whenever he faces to your right, whenever he faces to his left, he'll open up the time stream, he'll either look forward, he'll look backward, he'll look to your left, or he'll look to your right. And if he looks to the right, that's what you want. If he looks any other direction, any of the other 3 directions, it's just GG. Your cluster's not gonna do enough damage. If he looks to the right, you could absolutely bake him. You saw me bake him. Every single video that I've seen of people one-phasing Atheon with cluster bombs, he faces to the right. He faced to the right in my first completion. So basically, what I've been doing is, if he opens a time stream and he faces literally any other direction, I just go to orbit. If he stands in somewhere ridiculous, I'll also go to orbit. So I would say probably 9 out of every 10 times I load into this raid, I go to orbit strictly because of RNG. Either I got the wrong planet, or Atheon was doing something stupid. So like 10% of the time, he'll stand in the middle and he'll face to the right. But if he does face to the right, let's just say that you get the RNG. Now I'll go over exactly how I do this and exactly the strategy. So the only stat that matters is discipline. You want to be on tier 5 discipline this entire time. So this is what you want to be on whenever you load into the raid. So you're on Boo. You have to learn how to PDR, otherwise you can't do this. You can do this without PDR, but you have to be on a Warlock in order to solo this. So I'm just running these because in between attempts, you want to make sure that you're at full heavy. You need to have, I'll also go over this. You want to run Armamentarium so you get 2 grenades, and you want to run heavy ammo. That will give you 8 rockets. It'll give you 8 rockets in your thing, which is going to be what you want. You don't want anything less. So, and also you're going to want a good rocket launcher for this too. I guess we'll go over the loadout. Cluster bomb. Basically, Unto Dust is the go-to for this. I think a Smolder would also work if you had a God Roll Smolder. You want Tripod, Cluster, and you really want Aggressive. This isn't even that great of a rocket launcher. You want Flared Magwell too, but I don't have Flared Magwell in this. You don't need like a perfect rocket launcher. It doesn't really matter. You're going to want Praetorian Foil for the oracles, obviously, as you've seen me use. And primary doesn't matter. You want a primary with explosive rounds to maximize your pre-damage. Pre-damage doesn't really matter, obviously. I could have got a few more rockets off if he didn't die from that, but maybe one rocket off. I don't know about a few more, but I don't know. E-round seems to be the move. A lot of people run a scout for this. I run a hand cannon. I'm a huge Ice Luna fan. Everybody knows that. But Tier 5 Discipline. Start on Boo. I have this on. In between attempts, if I just get a damage phase and I pop my synth or I shoot some rockets, instead of loading back into the raid and wait for a synth or whatever, I'll go to the Plague Lands, and then I'll kill Fallen, which is what these gloves are for. Increase heavy ammo drops from fallen enemies. I'll go to the Plague Lands and I'll just farm enemies until I get maximum heavy, because your heavy that if you get heavy in a patrol zone and then you load into like a raid, it'll carry over. So that's kind of the loadout. I spawn in, and the first thing I do, as you saw, I run over here, and I throw 2 grenades as soon as he spawns in. Well, there goes my freaking demonstration. I throw 2 grenades as soon as he spawns in. Then I start shooting him with a magazine in my primary, and then I turn around, reload, and then I shoot 1 more magazine at him in the portal, and then I go hop on the teleporter. You don't have to hop on there, but well, you do have to hop on the teleporter. The reason that I jump on the little plate for the teleporter is because whenever I PDR, I want it to spawn me on the plate. Because if it spawns me anywhere else weird, I'm going to have to run to the plate, and it's not going to open in time, and I'm going to succumb to oracles. So, 155, that's pretty cool. So, fuck, what was I saying, dude? The way that I know when to PDR is whenever I throw my 2 grenades in the beginning, my grenade's gonna start I'm gonna have another grenade that starts charging from the very beginning, and as soon as my grenade gets charged, I'll wait a couple more seconds. You could do it right as soon as the grenade charges, but I like to get it right on the. I feel like if I hit my PDR, despawn myself right, like the second that he opens the time stream, he has a higher chance of facing to the right and being able to be a good attempt. I feel like if I PDR a couple seconds early and then I have to wait a second, he'll like turn around and face backwards or something. So try to like if you want to go for this, I would say mimic. Try to replicate my exact pre-damage and my exact setup as closely as you can, because there's a lot of factors. I'm not like an expert on this. I've spent a lot of time in this encounter for the 2 solos that I've done. The first time took me like a month, and I would say a lot of the attempts that I did were just completely like I wouldn't say I didn't know what I was doing. Like I knew what I was doing. If I got the RNG, I could have got it way sooner, but knowing about like him facing to the right is something that I didn't know for the longest time. That's just like, I don't even know if most people know that. I mean, I'm sure there's probably some people that are gonna be like, well, I freaking soloed it with him freaking being in the corner of the map and also facing backwards and all that other bullshit. But in my experience, I've had a lot of attempts where I've gotten Atheon to like 10% health and 5% health and gotten him really, really low. And the only time I've been able to get my cluster bombs to do damage like that is with him facing to the right. So that's just my word of advice. If you want to use a different weapon for pre-damage, I'm sure like a high-impact scout rifle would probably be better with E-rounds. Make sure you got that E-rounds. I used to think that using like my Praetorian foil for pre-damage was a good idea, but it's really not. You don't need to do that. Pre-damage isn't that important. If you're gonna go for a solo like this, getting your timing for your PDR down can take a little while. Just getting a feel for it. The thing where I throw my 2 grenades in the beginning, and then as soon as my next grenade charges, I wait a couple seconds to hit the PDR. That could probably work for some people. There's probably, I mean, whenever I used a scout rifle a long time ago, I would go like shoot a magazine after I throw my 2 grenades, and then I'll run back, reload, and then I'll shoot another magazine, and then I'll hop on the portal, and as soon as the time gate gets active, that's when I hit my PDR. There's a lot of weird different cues that you can use, but I think the grenade is the most consistent, because no matter what primary you use into pre-damage, and no matter when you hop on the portal, your grenade basically is always going to be charged at about the same time, because you're skating up as fast as possible to throw the first 2 grenades, and then as soon as you throw your second grenade, if you throw the 2 grenades as fast as possible, it's going to be charged about the same time every single attempt. I've been streaming for 3 hours and 16 minutes to do this, and I found out about that little grenade timing like, I don't know, an hour and a half ago, and it's been working very nicely for me. I've been able to hit my PDR like the second that he opens a time stream a lot, and pretty much every single time that I do that, he faces to the right. So I'm gonna just go out on a limb and say that that is a good way to get him to face to the right. I've had him face to the right whenever I didn't do that a lot of times, but I think that might just be, maybe the whole thing's just RNG, I don't know. But the reason that I did this solo again, because if you go back, the very first video on my channel was a solo Atheon, a solo Atheon one phase on Titan. But I only clipped the damage phase. I didn't clip the PDR. I didn't clip the pre-damage. I didn't even clip like just like the loadout that I was on in the beginning. It was a very short video. Like, it's the first video on my channel, so it wasn't from like a stream VOD or anything. It was just a clip that I took on Xbox. So wanted to redo it. I wanted to get the entire thing, the setup that I was on in the beginning, a little bit of an explanation at the end, because it's really hard to find any sort of resources out there on how to actually solo Atheon at all. Like, you can find a few completions on YouTube, but finding like a straight up just how to, like, this isn't like a tutorial, but it is a little explanation on how I did it. A little advice that I would give, because I didn't hear that like Atheon facing to the right thing from anybody. That was just something that I kind of found. But dude, that is it. I feel like it's been almost a year to the day now. Maybe not to the day. Well, actually, I uploaded that video 10 months ago. But I uploaded that video at like a couple of weeks, maybe even months after I did the solo. So it might be about a year since I've done my first Atheon solo. So hopefully this redo, this completion of Atheon and also explanation and all that stuff, hopefully it does it justice. I'm pretty excited to get this up. I'm pretty excited that it only took me like 4 hours. I've been streaming for 3 hours and 18 minutes now, and then yesterday, you can go look at the VOD. The VOD will be up, solo Atheon attempts. I feel like I did like maybe it was only like half an hour. Maybe we did get under 4 hours. Either way, this Atheon took me less time than my my Oryx that I did. Since the first time, Atheon was my last solo tag, and since my first Atheon solo, I have re-soloed every single final raid boss. I did Axis first. Well, I did Crota. I do Crota all the time. I got my one sword. That's pretty cool. But I did my Axis, and then as soon as I did my Axis, like probably less than a week after, I did my Oryx. And now we've given Atheon a good old revisit. So and the Atheon revisit, the re-solo on Atheon took me less time than Oryx. So I'm not gonna say that this is easier than Oryx. It definitely isn't. It didn't take me that long to solo Oryx the first time. The first time I soloed Atheon, I spent a lot of time. I got a lot of practice. Like, the movements that you do to do pre-damage and to open up the portal, and especially destroying all the oracles, that can be a pain in the ass when you're first learning. Obviously, I am very consistent. I mean, I'm not like perfectly consistent. I've fucked it up a few times today. But that can take a lot of practice. Peeking in the thing and shooting one oracle, then hopping out. If you're too slow, if you're even like if you even take a second more to line up, not even a second, dude, just like a split second more to line up your shot, and you spend a second longer in the portal, you'll just die to lost in time. It's very tight. You kind of have to almost start charging up your fusion rifle as you're walking into the portal, and then as soon as you go in, you just gotta like quick scope the shit out of the oracles. It's all a lot of muscle memory. It takes a lot of practice. Dude, I almost forgot to talk about the most important part, which is, of course, the damage phase, dude. Once you destroy all of the oracles, first of all, dude, I can't believe I'm like glossing over damage phase so much, dude. So as soon as you hit the PDR, as soon as you respawn, immediately what you want to do is go in your inventory and put on. What I like to have is a chest plate, a legendary chest plate that has this upgrade: Void Armor, increased armor when using a void-based subclass. Whenever you go down to do damage in middle, not only can you not see, but there are supplicants and Atheon and all that shit, and you're getting freaking blasted the entire time. So, not only would I recommend... Oh, dude, I didn't even have armor. Wow, I just soloed that without armor. That's pretty crazy. You can put on this for more armor. It's really convenient. The more health you have, the better. But I like to have a chest plate with this perk. It's very nice. You can also... Well, we have shotgun ammo. We're chilling with that. You probably have... I don't think Fusion Knife probably won't do anything. But you put on this chest plate, any legendary chest plate. You don't have to have that perk, but I just like that perk. It's obviously you don't need perfect armor, but it's just nice. Nice to have. You also want to put on the Taikonaut. The Taikonaut is very, very convenient because it has a perk that makes every single rocket launcher track. And as you can see, Cluster Bomb, there's no tracking on this, and whenever you are, it's basically necessity. It's probably possible to solo Atheon without the Taikonaut and just stay on Armamentarium the whole time, but it's basically like impossible. You're blind, so you can't aim at Atheon, and even if you could aim at Atheon, he's walking around. So switch on that, and then you go. Oh, no, I guess I'll mention it since I did it in the video. I also like to go down here and put on Come At Me, or not Come At Me, put on Boo, just because if I wipe for any reason and go to orbit and restart, it's just nice to have it already on, so I have to go down and switch to it. Or I basically make it impossible to forget to switch to it, because it's really annoying whenever your grenade charges and you're about to hit the PDR, and then you click left on the thing and you accidentally do the wrong emote. That's annoying. But so you have all your shit on. You go in, you destroy the oracles like I did, and then as soon as you come out, as soon as you destroy the 6th oracle and you come out of the portal, you also want to also, dude, I'm freaking really talking like a scrub. You destroy the 6th oracle, you come out, and then as you jump to the middle, you want to throw a magnet grenade at him. I don't really know why. It's just something that people do, and it's something I do. Just a little bit extra DPS. I don't know if it happened in the solo. It's freaking been a while. I've been yapping for a long time, so I don't really remember. But sometimes it takes a second to get your bubble. As soon as you get a bubble, you want to put it in kind of back mid. Just make sure you don't make sure whenever you're jumping in the middle and you're throwing your grenade, make sure you don't click RB and LB too fast, because sometimes there's been a couple times where I've got my bubble and I've used it, but I didn't make it to the middle platform, so I just freaking bubbled straight off the map. You want to make sure you're over the middle platform before you bubble, and then you get your bubble down, and you pull out your rocket launcher and you just start just absolutely wrecking him. You put all 8. You should have 8 rockets if you switched to Taikonaut late enough. The maximum ammo capacity with this gear that I have, normally with Armamentarium, with the Armamentarium buff, I get 8 rockets. But as soon as I put this gear on, my maximum capacity is 7. However, if you get your PDR and then you respawn and you already have 8 rockets from before, putting on Taikonaut isn't going to change that. You'll be able to have Taikonaut on with 8 rockets. So you'll be standing in the middle, you'll be in your bubble, just walk forward out of your bubble, shoot your rockets, and then just keep backing up and getting into the bubble and walking forward. Whenever you're reloading, you want to go back into the bubble so that you're not getting shot at by supplicants. And as soon as you're reloaded, you inch back out and shoot 3 more rockets. You do that until you get all 8 of your rockets out, and then you want to walk back into your bubble and pop a synth. Go back in your bubble, pop a synth. I'll also mention sometimes if your health bar is getting kind of low, for your last 2 shots, you'll have 1 full reload, 3 rockets, and then you reload, then 3 more rockets, and then you reload again, and then you have 2 rockets in the magazine. What I like to do sometimes when my health bar is low is instead of walking forward, where you're like just walking right into Atheon's fire, I like to jump up and jump out of the bubble from up top, because it makes it kind of harder for Atheon to shoot at you. So just jump up, shoot a rocket, jump up, shoot a rocket. That's what I was doing for basically the entire time after I popped a synth. That's a lot safer. If your health bar gets really low, there is always the option of popping another bubble, because popping a bubble heals all your health. Sometimes, you know, you could jump out of the bubble, shoot a rocket, and then click RB/LB to pop another bubble. You don't really lose any time from that. But you can do that for the last 2 rockets of your first ammo capacity, but after you pop a synth, I pretty much only jump up out of the bubble rather than walking forward, because as soon as you walk forward, for the first, I don't know, like 10 seconds of your damage phase, give or take, 10 to 15 seconds of your damage phase, Atheon's going to be just standing completely still. But then as soon as he starts walking around, he'll start shooting at you, and he'll start doing a shitload of damage, and that's whenever I start to, like, stop walking forward, because walking forward out of the bubble doesn't really end up being that safe once he starts shooting at you, because he does a lot of damage, and you're always going to have supplicants shooting at you, and they do a lot of damage too. Their fire kind of adds up. Alright, is there anything that I forgot to mention? I didn't really get oracles. Oracles are just kind of like, you just get used to it. You gotta walk in, shoot oracles. It's pretty self-explanatory. I like to destroy 1 oracle on the first trip into the portal. You can actually, because as soon as you walk in there the first time, you're kind of like getting your bearings in order. I don't really know if that's a thing. I just made that up. But so sometimes I miss my first shot as soon as I walk in. So I might walk in, miss my first shot, and then I'll aim at the oracle just to like really make sure that I got it, and then I'll charge another shot and I'll shoot 2 the first time. You can get away with shooting 2 shots, and eventually you're gonna have to on like the next couple trips. You're gonna have to destroy 2 oracles every single time you walk in and out. But you can't shoot 3 fusion rifle shots in one trip. You can't destroy 3 oracles. You don't have enough time. You'll die to loss in time. Shooting 1, if I'm really lucky, I don't remember if I did it in the run in the completion that I just had. But if you walk into the portal and you destroy your first oracle in 1 shot really, really fast, you can destroy a second one. I think I might have actually done that in this one. I might have destroyed 2 oracles the first time in. But if you don't do that, it's okay to just destroy 1. Normally, a very standard run, I'll go in, I'll destroy 1 oracle on the first trip. On the second trip, I'll destroy 2 and 3. On the second trip, I'll destroy 4 and 5, and then the last one, I'll destroy 6. You don't want to destroy the oracles out of order. You want to know, just pay attention to what order I shot them in. You want to know the order of the oracles. You want to shoot them in the right order, because if you destroy the second one first, you'll just succumb to the first one, because they just a whole thing, dude. Oracles are just a pain in the ass. Everything's a pain in the ass on this counter. Dude. It's I mean, I'm not gonna call it fun. I would not recommend this. If anybody is the description on my first solo of this was I do not recommend, and I still don't recommend. Do not do this. It's stupid. Do not go for the solo. But if you do go for the solo, then dude, good luck to you. Let's see. Is there anything else that is cool in this? 3 supplicant kills, 6 oracle kills, times Vengink E. Even though it doesn't say that. But, yeah. I think the reason, I mean, not the reason, but dude, this is way less consistent. Like, you can, I'd say like a top tier Oryx soloer could probably do Oryx probably 50% of the time or more. But dude, there's no way to make this consistent. It's gonna take a long time. Get this out. So I was thinking earlier, whenever I got the solo, I'm probably gonna do a, I've done Spawn of Vault of Glass all the way to Gatekeeper a lot of times. I think I have a couple of those up on my channel, but those are all on Warlock that I've done. I will do a level 26 Vogs solo from Spawn up to Gatekeeper, but I'll do it on a Titan because I like to say that I've done every single possible, like, solo encounter on Vogue. But I've only done Atheon on a Titan, and I've only done the rest of the raid on a Warlock, so I feel like it would only make sense if I did the rest of the raid on a Titan, so that minus Gatekeeper, I can solo the entire raid on a Titan. I think that'd be pretty cool. Little achievement. But dude, I'm gonna peace out of here. I've been yapping and rambling for too long. GG Atheon again. Dude, Legba sauce.